I hate that head whip thing.
The head whip thing is nasty.
Oh, God.
Are we blaming Harden?
Trey,
yeah.
But now, look, not only is the head whip, none of it is working anymore. You're going to trip out when you hear this. All right, so I subscribe to The Finder, which is Tom Haberstroh. He does one of those Substacks, and I subscribe to his. How about this? I'm going to read this to you, and this is going to blow your mind. The NBA's bizarre free throw drought continues. Is this the NBA's pitch clock? So you might have noticed last night's game super quick, the one before that super quick. Last night, at one point, Eric Hasseltine on the broadcast, what was the guy's name? The lumpy guy.
Oh, Matt Boland.
He goes, Matt Boland is reffing this game like he really doesn't want to be here.
He said that.
But they weren't calling anything. They weren't calling anything. But here's the thing.
77 was wild.
Hey,
Of course, Ray was clever.
it's not that they are not calling anything in our arena. They're not calling anything anywhere. Listen to this. It says, a crazy thing happened on Wednesday night. The Cleveland Cavaliers didn't take a free throw in the first 3 quarters of their game against the Pelicans.
Pardon? 3?
Wait.
Roser,
Listen.
stop.
3 quarters of basketball, not a single shooting foul whistled by officials against the Pelicans. It marked the first time this season that a team, any team, entered the fourth quarter with 0 free throws attempted. About 2,000 NBA games have been played since the last time it happened. A basketball comet streaked across the sky, an event so rare, you might watch an entire season's worth of games and never see it. And then 3 minutes later, another comet zipped across the sky. That's right, it happened again.
No way.
Over in Memphis,
Oh, snap.
just seconds later, the Charlotte Hornets concluded the third quarter of their game with 0 free throws to their name.
Yep.
It
Attempted?
hadn't happened all season, and then in a span of 5 minutes, it happened twice. Last night, the Hornets attempted 0 free throws in the first 3 quarters of the game.
Why did I not
We didn't
notice?
even notice.
That we didn't notice it. That's crazy.
So they had 13 free throw attempts in the fourth quarter?
Yes.
We were just hacking?
Yeah.
No way.
It never happens. And we didn't even notice.
Is it
That
'cause of-
game, no, I'm not kidding you. That game was on an amazing pace until the third and fourth
How did I not
quarters.
notice?
And do you know what happened in the third and fourth quarters of that game? Free throws and fouls started happening, and the game came to a just grinding halt.
All right, listen
So
to
you
this.
just want no foul shots,
hey,
Roser,
look,
ever?
hey,
I just
so
want
the,
a
hey, so the Cavs beat the Pelicans, right?
Good.
Last night.
That's what he wants.
The Cavs finished that game with 3 free throws, the lowest total since 1994. Cleveland star Donovan Mitchell wasn't even alive the last time that happened.
Oh, God.
Back in Memphis, Charlotte finished with a parade of free throws in the fourth quarter, ending up with 13, still down from their season average of 18.5. Believe it or not, the bizarre free throw droughts didn't end there. In Portland, the Blazers had 1 free throw in the half. That's the lowest free throw total at halftime for them this whole season.
Dang.
And the season before that. And the season before that. And the season before that. These are the latest entries in the league's bizarre disappearance of free throws. And with it, all that high scoring in the NBA we heard so much about, is there something behind it? And he said, I'm going to propose a new theory. He said, 2 weeks ago, I wrote a column that said NBA scoring was crashing. The floor keeps lowering. Since then, we've had 4 teams score in the 70s in a full game. There was only 1 sub-80 performance last season. Of the season, I'm sorry, until last week. The ceiling is sliding too. 18 teams played last night.
Mm-hmm.
None scored 120
Wow.
in regulation.
Here.
Hold on.
All right.
On Wednesday, before the All-Star break, okay? So we're going the Wednesday before All-Star break. That night, 11 teams scored over 120. Last night, 0.
Wow. They cutting the water off, bro.
And then Poof all gone. I'm sorry, poof, all gone. GMs and coaches told Ethan Strauss in his piece that something was up. He said, I pointed out March 1st. Most of the scoring fall can be attributed to referees swallowing their whistles. We just saw Charlotte, Cleveland, and Portland go the majority of their games without taking a free throw last night. These extremes come one day after the league told Mark Stein that it's all just noise. An NBA spokesperson, when I lodged a formal request for comment, told Mark Stein that there has been no directive from the league office to referees to call games differently. The league's position then is that we have witnessed a statistical anomaly over the past few weeks with a myriad of possible causes. He said a handful of team officials spoke in the last 48 hours. They were not buying it. Everybody says it's an epidemic. Something happened. The numbers don't point to shooters going ice cold or teams all of a sudden having the dribbling yips, nor did the numbers suggest that teams throwing the ball out of bounds like a quarterback avoiding a sack. Instead, the signs all pointed towards officials swallowing the whistle. And then he does a whole chart. And he talks about how NBA shooting fouls are plummeting right now.
Here's this last night. The first half of our game with the Hornets. 46 minutes. 2 combined free throws, 7 combined fouls. Second half, an hour and 3 minutes. 22 free throws, 23 combined fouls.
Yeah, but the fourth quarter gets like that. We were close. It was a 4-point.
The third
is it
quarter
'cause
was
we're getting
longer.
closer
The
to
third
the-
quarter was longer than any of the other than any of the previous 2
Is
quarters.
it because we're getting close to the playoffs time or what? I think there's they're really like stop.
Just don't freaking call fouls unless they're egregious.
And I think they're also like the times
Do you
of
just
the
want people to die?
Here's
not
the
gonna
thing.
die.
Yes, he does.
Here's the thing. I think it's twofold. One of which is the scoring got like super high.
Yeah.
But it's not as much the scoring getting super high in these games. What he's proposing as a theory, which I actually can buy, is times of games.
yes.
And that these are
To make 'em like-
so the lack of whistles has shaved down the game by over 2 minutes
Yes.
on average, right? So free throw trips are down, the games should be tighter. It said this bucks the trend of the last 2 seasons where the games got longer after the All-Star break. He said, here's the sneaky thing about Cleveland having a historically low free throw total on Wednesday. That game was ended in less than 2 hours. According to Unpredictable Tracking, it lasted 1 hour and 57 minutes, 18 minutes faster than the typical NBA game. Started at 7:11 p.m., ended at 10:08. Or I'm sorry, 9:08 p.m. And that's with the Pelicans taking 26 free throws of their own. There's only so much the league can do to trim down the broadcast, but I can understand why they want the games to be faster and more action-packed. It's like the NBA is almost intentionally or not implementing their own pitch clock. Make the games breezier and fans will stay locked in. I think that's very fascinating.
100%
So it's
right,
not
too.
necessarily an edict of going, hey, this was all cool that we've had 60 and 70 point games and teams are scoring 120. We want more basketball being played, less stoppages of the game,
Less free
less
throws.
reviews in the game. And so then what ends up happening is you get more basketball, but you're getting less whistles and the games are ending faster.
I like that because
I
people
do
people don't
too.
people don't pay tickets to come watch free throws.
I do
No.
too. How many times? I mean, when we
About
see the
tickets.
ugly games, I always turn to Roser. I say, how many times have we seen 3 consecutive possessions? Teams going up and down the court. It was the thing. It was the thing that I noticed during FIFA. Remember when Jaron and them were playing?
Yeah.
You're watching those games, and it's like they don't even have timeouts in the same way. You know what I mean? They're not taking like all the TV timeouts.
timeout. No,
and I'm like,
they run through it.
you feel like you're watching so much basketball.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't stop.